Welcome back to the 5th week of these Church on a Mission videos, and this week we're joined with Liam, and today we're looking at 1 Timothy chapter 4. Now 1 Timothy is a letter written by Paul to Timothy, and he says this in chapter 4 from verse 7. Have nothing to do with godless myths and old wives' tales, rather train yourself to be godly. For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. So, Liam, this idea, train yourself to be godly. What do you think about it? Tell me what you...
Yeah, no, it's a good challenge. And for me, I think there is this... I think the church needs to make sure and has an essential place that we as all believers are privately devoting ourselves to Christ.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the private place. So in youth, actually, we have this saying of private victory leads to public victory. So we try and teach our young people that because we want to make sure that we are privately having successes before we're publicly having successes. Yeah. And I think when you see a breakthrough in prayer privately, you then see a breakthrough in prayer publicly. If you see a breakthrough in prayer and worship privately, then it happens publicly. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so my point is that private devotion, and I don't mean just like making sure you hit your Bible reading plan or you do your 10 minutes in the morning. I mean real devotion. Yeah. So for example, things like, have a date night with God. Relationships, I just got married. So date night's important. Yeah. And I make that a really intentional time, but yet we don't always do the same with God. And I don't think God is in the business of having 10 minutes. I think there's this idea of actually giving him that relationship. For example, if my dad said to me, Liam, do you want to meet up and have a coffee? And I was like, Dad, can't do that. I'll meet with you 10 minutes every day. Yeah. That wouldn't build relationship. That would be weird. But with God, I think sometimes we forget this relationship part. So for me, there's this importance in training yourself in this to have a personal relationship with Jesus, to a point where you go for walks together, go out for dinner with Jesus. I don't know what that looks like, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Just have those private times with God where you actually give him a good amount of time.
And training the privacy of training isn't glamorous, is it?
Yes.
Like it's the kind of...
It's the hard stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're running, for example, you go out running in the rain and there's no one else, there's no crowds cheering you on. No. There's nobody there at the end being like, "Oh, well done." It's not glamorous and it's ordinary, but it's so important because you wouldn't be able to run a marathon if you didn't train it, right? So,
and God sees that stuff. Jesus says about praying. He says, go into a room, close the door, stop praying, stop babbling on in front of everybody. Do it, and that's where the Lord will see you, is what Jesus says. So like that's where God sees us really, and that's where God can really change us. Yeah. In that time.